Before the War of 1812, before the Trail of Tears, there was a war that shaped the future of America, but hardly anyone remembers it today. The Northwest Indian War, a bloody, decade-long conflict, saw native tribes unite to defend their homelands against the expansion of a young and hungry United States. It was a clash of cultures, empires, and survival. In 1783, the American Revolutionary War ended. The British ceded a vast chunk of land to the new United States, land that was already home to dozens of native nations. Tribes like the Shawnee, Miami, Lenape, and Wyandot had not surrendered their territory. And now, white settlers began pouring in, claiming farms, clearing forests, and building forts. In response, a coalition was formed, the Western Confederacy. Led by legendary chiefs like Little Turtle of the Miami, Blue Jacket of the Shawnee, and Buckongahelas of the Delaware, this alliance sought to defend their homelands at any cost. Their goal? Create a native barrier state, a land untouched by U.S. expansion. In 1790, President George Washington sent General Josiah Harmar to crush the Confederacy. But Little Turtle was ready. At the Battle of Buckongahelas, the U.S. forces were ambushed and destroyed. Harmar lost over 200 men. Still determined, Washington sent a larger force led by General St. Clair. On November 4, 1791, near the Wabash River, disaster struck again. The Western Confederacy annihilated St. Clair's army. Over 900 Americans died, making it the worst defeat ever suffered by the U.S. against native forces. Furious and humiliated, Washington called in his most ruthless general, Anthony "Mad" Wayne. Wayne spent 2 years training a new army, the Legion of the United States, disciplining them like the European armies. On August 20, 1794, Wayne met the native forces near the Maumee River in a place filled with storm-blown trees, fallen timbers. This time, the U.S. was ready. The Confederacy was defeated. Worse, they retreated to a nearby British fort, and the British refused to let them in. In 1795, the tribes had little choice. They signed the Treaty of Greenville, surrendering most of Ohio and Indiana to the U.S. It marked the beginning of massive land loss and the unraveling of the native barrier state dream. The Northwest Indian War was the first U.S. war after independence and set the tone for centuries of broken treaties and native resistance. Heroes like Little Turtle later advocated for peace, while others like Tecumseh rose in later decades to renew the struggle. But for a brief moment, native nations stood united and almost won. The Northwest Indian War isn't just a forgotten war. It's a war that changed everything.